just how we've got to where we are now with the state of consciousness of human beings. The state of consciousness of human beings could be broadly different, if you will, if we've discovered this new state of consciousness, so to speak, within ourselves and prioritize our inner state over our outer state. There is a new state of consciousness. I said coming soon, but it's already here. It's just been overlooked by still millions of people, but that new state of consciousness derives itself not from the ego, not from your sense of self, but from the essence of who you are. Your primary focus in this new state of consciousness is to be aware of your inner state. Although it is well known in some areas, it seems to be still very overlooked. So I'm here to share it. And the fact that I've recognized it to a certain extent within myself, because the ultimate recognition of it is death. Ultimately, you go back to source and energy is dissipated or whatever happens. But recognizing it as much as you can physically while you're in this body is quite important for us to evolve as a humanity. And bringing it to our awareness through our daily life, that our inner state is our primary focus, not the external conditions, because the external conditions could be challenging, could be demanding, and it may seem like this is more important when something is late or you have a deadline or whatever it may be, and you may think that this is more important than my state of consciousness right now, but ultimately the way you experience that is going to be determined by your inner state. So if your inner state is like this, anxious, worried, in resistance, then you're going back. You're not evolving towards that new state of consciousness that I said is coming soon, but is really here now. You just have to recognize it. You have to discover it. It's already there within you, because even if I stop talking for a moment and you don't try to imagine the next thing I'm going to say, or you don't try to continue my sentence, you're just there. You shift your attention to your breathing. That's it. It's very simple. That's the new state of consciousness. Being able to shift your attention and to put your primary focus in alignment with now. Not the next thing, not the previous thing, but now. And that's the new state of consciousness that's here already within all of us. But it hasn't become mainstream because you haven't liked this video, so to speak, or recognized it in yourself on a more realistic term or way. Recognize it in yourself, and millions of people begin to recognize it in themselves. And then just how we've got to where we are now with the state of consciousness of human beings, the state of consciousness of human beings could be broadly different, if you will, if we've discovered this new state of consciousness, so to speak, within ourselves and prioritize our inner state over our outer state. But of course, right now, the outer state is kind of primary for most people, which is okay, because once you recognize what I'm saying and what you do within yourself while having a challenge, while having to be somewhere and you're here, while a great demand is there, then you find a balance in between doing and being, which is kind of expressed in what we call ourselves, human being. The human dimension of ourselves is the doing. The being dimension of ourselves is, of course, the being. But most people still have not recognized that state of consciousness of being. Where mostly, even if you hear people sometimes say when they can't do something or they failed at something and they need to try again, they say, well, I'm only human. No, you are a human being, which means that that doing that you were trying to do, if you be with it, it becomes easier to do or even try again, or even accept that maybe that's not for me at this time. It doesn't have to be a negative connotation towards something that you can't do. This is in that new state of consciousness. You're not beating yourself up like in the old state of consciousness, let's call it that. But you recognize that this consciousness that you are is everything within yourself. And that might sound a little removed from a normal talk that you might hear, but ultimately, prioritizing your inner state is primary, and you don't allow your external conditions to take control of that and drive you outer, gotta do, because when you do that, you completely overlook your inner state. You completely overlook that new state of consciousness. And then it has to look like it's coming soon. That's probably why I said that. But ultimately, it's not coming soon. It's here now. It's here for you to recognize within yourself, but also there has to be a sense of wanting to. Because if there's not that sense of wanting to, you will fall back into the trap, let's call it, of the unconscious state of human beings, which is widely amongst most human beings that you encounter every day. Especially if you meet people that start off a conversation with something negative. Oh, isn't this a long line? Someone said to me in the store, and I said, oh, yes, it is. But the structure of it is quite beautiful. And they were their face and then they said, that's kind of nice. I gotta start thinking like that. And I said, yes, a lot of us do. But thoughts like that, more compassionate thoughts, tend to come to us when we are aligned with that new state of consciousness that we're talking about. That prioritizing your inner state, not allowing the external conditions to determine how you are within yourself. Very important. Thank you.